Check out this video that everyone is talking about. This is exclusive from TMZ Sports.
I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't doing nothing, man. You asked me a question.
It is Michael Bennett, who is a two-time Pro Bowler with the Seattle Seahawks, detained by the cops in Vegas after the biggest fight of the year, perhaps the century. I want to bring in Evan Rosenblum, who is the executive producer of TMZ Sports. Evan, how'd you guys get a hold of this video?
Well, you know, there was actually somebody who was there at the scene shooting it, and we had heard about this fight a couple days before, but we were, once Michael Bennett was able to confirm that it was him involved, we just did our TMZ thing. We were able to find somebody there, and we got the video. We were able to authenticate it. And it was
so, Evan,
just
let me ask. Now,
it was going to be.
Looking at the video, I mean, Bennett's claiming that they pointed a gun at him, and of course, there's no video of that. This starts after he's already on the ground.
I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't doing nothing, man. You asked me a question.
And you can clearly see the officer on top of him does not have a weapon. But what about up in the corner? There's another officer there. Have you been able to confirm who that officer is, if he had a gun or not?
Right. We spoke with some sources that are involved in the investigation who told us that both officers did have their guns drawn at one point. Now, remember, they were investigating the casino because they were responding reports of a shooter. So they went in there with their guns drawn, looking for somebody who may have been an active shooter. So when they saw Michael Bennett, the cop side of the story is that they believe he may have been involved in the shooting, so they went after him guns drawn. They weren't messing around.
Right. Well, it would have been a bigger concern if they were responding to an active shooter call and they didn't have their guns drawn. I'd agree with you there.
I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't doing nothing, man. You asked me a question.
Roger Goodell weighed in, said he stands by Michael Bennett. He's a stand-up guy, good guy. You think there'll be more video that comes out? Because according to the cops, there are 126 other pieces of video evidence that they have yet to go through.
Yeah, there will be more evidence that comes out, more video evidence. As a matter of fact, this morning we've already been contacted by a number of people who were at that hotel, the Cromwell Hotel, during the incident. They've been sending their video in like crazy. We've been looking for footage that specifically shows Michael Bennett because we want to see exactly what happened, why cops believe he was involved in the shooting. Remember, cops said he was crouching behind a gaming device and then took off and ran, and that's why they believe that he was involved. But we want to see that for ourselves. So
man, you guys are the tip of the spear on this. I got to tell you, you've done a better job on this than any other source out there. We'll certainly be checking back in with you. Thank you, Evan.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, I want to bring in our A-plus panel tonight. We've got Serena DeMasso here, Monmouth County, New Jersey freeholder. Good to have you here. Always good to see you on the show. And Mike Donovan is back. You are a civil rights advocate. Mike, I want to start with you on this. 126 other pieces of evidence out there on this video evidence, according to the cops. Seems to me that we're only looking at a small portion. And what's amazing to me is the video that's out does not corroborate what Michael Bennett is saying.
Well, sure it does. I mean, he was on the ground. The cop was on top of him, handcuffing him. For what reason? He wasn't charged with an offense.
I wasn't doing nothing, man. You asked me a question.
The police take massive liberties in the detaining of individuals who are not charged, and it's a big problem. It's a problem that and disproportionately affects the African-American community, and Michael Bennett's correct to be concerned about it and correct to raise the issue that his civil rights were violated.
Do you think he's being a bit of a crybaby?
No, I don't think so. I don't think the police have the right to throw him on the ground, or me or you, Bill, unless they have reason to believe that we've committed a crime. And you know what? When they do it and we were innocent, they should apologize. It should be a big deal. We've gotten to a place in this country where police are superpowers and they can't be questioned and they can't be criticized, and that is a horribly dangerous place to be.
Let me ask you, do you think that as a black man, as a football player, he's got a reason to fear the police?
Absolutely. I think black people have a reason to fear the police. Look at New Jersey. Black people are more likely to be incarcerated 12 times the rate of white people. I think if a black person doesn't fear the police, they're not aware of the surroundings and the situations, they meet it out in the numbers.
Serena, active shooter situation, cops are there with their guns drawn, you don't know what you're going to face. You got a guy crouched behind a machine and then he darts.
There are two sides to every story, so we haven't heard the other side just yet. There's 126 pieces of evidence, of video evidence they have to go through. But as a first responder, we practice these drills all the time. And I honestly would hate to be the person that, when you're there and you have to make split-second decisions, these guys are running to the danger and they have to make a split-second decision. That's not to say that every group doesn't have a bad apple here and there. And when we get all the evidence, we'll know. But honestly, that you're going into an active shooter situation, like you said, Bill. He has to have his gun drawn.
Imagine if we had an earlier response to the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando.
Absolutely. There would be people that wouldn't be dead.
But that wasn't the case here. And Serena,
but the cops didn't know that.
But Serena, you're a member of county government, so you understand. What do you think the chances are that the police have 126 pieces of video they just haven't gotten around a chance to looking at? Once this video came up, they've seen everything. Those police officers, by the time that they held a press conference saying, we dispute this wasn't racism, they've looked at everything. The idea that there are 126 pieces of video evidence that they just haven't gotten around a chance.
Are you saying the cops are lying?
Absolutely.
No,
Cops typically lie to cover. Absolutely.
But Evan just said he's getting more information every day also.
I do believe there are people out there with
but there are
additional
people
video
out there,
evidence
so
for sure.
Until we get,
but
So the
that.
millionaire football player, total credibility, he ought to be scared. But those cops that are working for $40,000, $50,000 a year, you think they're just setting the guy up?
Those cops that are working for $40,000, $50,000 a year have extra power in our society. They carry guns, and they're given the ability to detain people and arrest people. And forgive me for thinking that that means they should have some responsibility on top of it.
Well, we've got 125 other pieces of evidence to go, so we'll find out as this works through.